Hello everybody, this will be the first in what will probably be a series about the Glock 17. This is a Glock 17, and before I go any further than that, I just wanted to preface this with the disclaimer that I'm just a firearms enthusiast. I'm not an expert. Nothing I say should be considered as replacement for professional training. I'm just a gun nut talking about a gun. So I hope you enjoy the video. So I think a good place to start is with some basic firearm safety, and the 4 cardinal rules of firearm safety is: treat every gun as if it were loaded, do not point the gun at anything you do not wish to destroy, keep your finger off the trigger and outside of the trigger guard until you are on target and ready to shoot, and to be aware of know your target and what's beyond, and that includes, foreground and background of where you're shooting. So with those safety rules in mind, let's make sure this gun is unloaded. To do that, we keep our finger off the trigger guard, hit the magazine release and remove the magazine. It is in fact a loaded magazine, and then we rack the slide, ejecting a round. This is a self-defense gun, so it is usually kept loaded. And now we'll just put the ammunition in a different room. So before we go into any real specific details in the video, I wanted to walk you through the different parts and features on a Glock 17, and this part of the video will also be applicable to other Glocks and most other semi-automatic handguns. So if we just kind of start from the top and work our way to the bottom, we see the front and rear sights. The front sight is a front post with a white bead, and the rear sight is a notch sight with a white U. Then we see the ejection port, where empty shells will be ejected during firing, the ejector, which will be doing said ejecting, and it also serves as a loaded chamber indicator. There's also cocking serrations, which provide extra purchase on the slide when you're performing manipulations with the gun. Then there is the takedown levers for taking it apart, the accessory rail for lights, lasers, etc., the barrel, the guide rod, and attached to the guide rod is the recoil spring, the trigger guard, the grip frame, the slide, the trigger, the safe action part of the trigger, the magazine, and then related to the magazine, if we flip it over, you can see the magazine release. This is the slide release, and here is the other takedown lever. So to take the gun apart, we just pick it up, hit the magazine release, ejecting the magazine, pull back on the slide while pushing up on the slide stop, and the slide locks back. We can look in the chamber, touch in the chamber to inspect that it's empty, hit the slide release to move the slide forward, pull the trigger, and then we just push down on the takedown levers, which are on either side of the gun. And a little tricky on camera, but the whole slide assembly just slides off the back. So now the grip frame and receiver is taken down as far as one would normally take it down for cleaning. You can put that up there. And the slide breaks down a little bit farther. First we take out the guide rod and recoil spring, and then we can take out the barrel, and then we have the slide. So that's really all it is. The Glock is just 4 main components. Putting the gun back together is equally easy. First you just take the barrel, put it into the slide, and then you take the recoil spring and guide rod, making sure that the rounded off end goes towards the front, and just push it down into its little recess. You can see that there's actually 2 little steps for it to go, and you want it to go into the deeper step, which is rounded, just like the guide rod. And then you just line up the receiver rails on this slide, and from front to back pull it on all the way back, and it's put back together.